Morning, this is Brian. Today is Wednesday, November 19th, 2025, and I'm here at Corral Canyon Campground, parked over not that far from the entrance. I believe that's where there's like a small day-use parking lot. As I'm out here camping, my goal today is to climb up this way and visit this peak in the area known as Bronco Peak. So I'm thinking I'm gonna pick up a road or a white trail through here somewhere. See if I can find it. I see something picking up over there. Just gonna work my way over there. Let's see how this works. See if I can get over there in the first place. I think I gotta go around here. Corral Canyon Bear Valley. So let's see. I'm gonna go head this way to the right. I believe this is what's going to lead me over there. So let's see. So I know there's a road that takes you up from the backside of the campground. It's going to take you wiggling its way up and around the mountain, and then I'm supposed to pick a junction that heads up hill to the left, I believe. Here we go. Actually, here's a sign for it. This is called Bobcat here. Here we go. Bronco Peak. Extreme difficulty. Bronco Peak connector, San Diego four-wheelers. I'll just have to be careful if there are any four-wheelers. There's one person parked in the lot at the campground who has a four-wheeler, so I'll just have to be on the lookout. But today I want to climb it. There's another option coming from Bobcat Campground on the other side, but I wanted to take this one because this one's, I think, a little bit longer and a little more elevation gain. So I wanted to take the little bit longer of the two. Looks like there's a weird split here. Yeah, it's beautiful out here. Very beautiful. Just going to be on the lookout for this, especially on the shady side. This leafless shrub here is western poison oak, Toxicodendron diversilobum. I'll have to keep an eye out for that today. And since we're on the shady side of the mountain, we're also in coast live oak woodland. More specifically, southern coast live oak. And it's these beautiful trees here, Quercus agrifolia variety oxyadania. Once we get up to a certain level, it's going to be basically all chaparral, I believe. Now, supposedly there's a class 5 boulder at the summit of Bronco Peak. If it's indeed class 5, I'm going to omit it, because I'm not a rock climber, as you heard on my videos before. But I just wanted to get up here and see. Oh, this is interesting. have to have a really good, strong vehicle to get up this. Looks like parts of the dirt road going up Gold Mountain near Big Bear in the San Bernardino Mountains. Very rocky. But I'm not driving it, I'm hiking it, so this should be fine for me on foot. Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm thinking this is going to be a beautiful one today. All right. Didn't get out last week. The week before I'd been on the road for probably driving close to 25 hours between 3 days. Probably 25 hours of driving. So last week, took the week off. Plus it was hot last week. Oh wow. This is gonna be different. This is gonna be an interesting hike. Might be a little class 2 scrambling too. All right, well, up for the challenge. I'm gonna start climbing up this. This looks like this is gonna be beautiful. Oh boy. I'll see you on the next clip. All right, so I got my first scramble of the day. I don't know how much I will have in total, but got to do a class 2 scramble up this. Gotta watch where I put my feet. Anyway. Woo-wee. Okay. Gorgeous out here. So we're in southeast San Diego County. We're not far from Lake Morena, not super far from Buckman Springs, and also not far from the last place I hiked when I was in this area back in February, Los Pinos Mountain, which is the high point in this area. Los Pinos Mountain. So that was back at the end of, towards the end of February. So if interested, that video is up if you want to check it out. There's a lot of poison oak over here. Oh boy. A lot of it. Ay, ay, ay. Ooh, oh boy. Gotta make sure I don't step on any of it. There's some right over the road too. So I gotta work my way around this without brushing up on it. There's a lot of poison oak over here. So if you're, good thing I'm doing it now, because later on, if it gets dark or something, you might not see it until you might not see it until after you touch it. All right. A lot of old growth chaparral whitethorn up here. Ceanothus leucodermis. These are some pretty large, older specimens here that have been through some times. Now, I'm not sure. It seems to be going downhill. Hoping it's going to resume going uphill. I hope. So yeah, if you're hiking this or driving it with an open air vehicle, I don't know how you could drive with a vehicle on this. Watch out. Poison oak presents a low bridge in some spots. All right, so we're gonna start going up this way. It is absolutely stunning out here, though. Let's be honest about it. We got some big berry manzanita popping up too. Right there, Arctostaphylos glauca. Looks like it's gonna be a little muddy. It's been raining the last couple days, so it's probably gonna be kind of muddy as well. What do we got here? What do we got? This one right here. This is a pretty decent sized big berry manzanita. Wow. Very beautiful out here. Very gorgeous. But it looks like I'm going to be making my way up this way here. And we got some large old sugar bush here too. Some sumac, sugar bush, whatever you want to call it. Russo vada is here. Yeah, this is going to be a very interesting day. All right, well, I'm going to keep on climbing, and I'll see you on my next clip. Now, we also got white-leafed eastwood manzanita here. Arctostaphylos glandulosa, subspecies Leucophila. I can't tell about this one now. I'm looking to see how big the fruits are. This right here is different. This one's big berry. This one's Arctostaphylos glauca. They're both similarly colored, but glauca is going to have larger fruit. I think the largest of the manzanitas here in Southern California. And B, the leaves are smooth or glabrous. Whereas the white leaf eastwood manzanita, leaves are usually a little narrower and they're kind of slightly rough and sandpapery to the touch. Now, if you got smaller smaller fruit, but smooth leaves, you're probably looking at Adams eastwood manzanita, subspecies, or Arctostaphylos glandulosa adamsii, which is possible here as well. So it looks like this trail goes up and down. So let's see. There's a Corral Canyon paved road I took from the Buckman Springs Road. Get off of Interstate 8 at Buckman Springs Road. Get onto Buckman Springs. Drive for a couple of miles. You're going to pass a high school on your left called Mountain Empire High School. And eventually you're going to turn right onto the Corral Canyon Road, the Corral Canyon Access Road. You'll see a sign pointing you to turn right onto the road, and you're just going to follow it for about 9 or 10 miles or so, slowly, because it's very potholed, partially dirt, partially paved, very potholed road. You're going to follow that until you see a sign for the Corral Canyon Campground, or alternatively, you can drive around to, I believe you can access Bronco Peak from Bobcat Campground, which is on the other side. Is it Bobcat or Bobcat Meadow? One of those two. You can access it from there as well if you want to take your buggy or hike it. I prefer to hike because it's me using my own muscles to get up to the peak. Beneficial exercise. Don't mind saying it is. Opened up into some very beautiful chaparral as well. We're on the shady side of the peak. That's why I'm saying look out for poison oak. It dangles over the trail, especially down in the wooded area. Now, here's another common find in southeastern and eastern San Diego County, before you get down to the desert, of course. And this is Ceanothus perplexans, couple-leaf Ceanothus. Extremely abundant out here in the slightly drier mountains in San Diego County, especially before you get to the desert. But you'll also find it as far west as the Cuyamaca Mountains. Yeah, definitely some steep slopes. So come prepared for even some minor scrambling. This is a good, I think it's going to be a good workout hike. Right now it's leveled off, but I'm sure there'll be some more challenging sections ahead. Got more, a lot of manzanita here. Very tall. Most of these are big berries, but we do have a couple of species. There's a very nice Mexican or point leaf manzanita in the campground. You'll see it as you're passing your way to that little parking area, and it's very tall. It's not huge in the size of, it's got a lot of mass, but it's very tall, two-trunked, and it's Arctostaphylos pungens. Look at this. It's almost a miniature forest of manzanitas here. How absolutely incredibly beautiful is this? And some of these are tall. I love it. I love when manzanitas get huge. I'm a sucker for a big manzanita. I'm a sucker for pretty much any plant out here in the chaparral. Look at this. Gosh, how gorgeous. More cup leaf ceanothus. And of course our chaparral mainstay, Adenosoma fasciculatum, variety fasciculatum. Common chemise. But very heavy on the manzanita, especially on this north-facing slope here. It's more of a northwest-facing slope. As our sun's to the southeast right now. It's maybe about 10 a.m. right now. Kind of got a little bit of a late start, and it takes a long time to get out here because you're driving a quarter of the distance. I'm driving that about not even a quarter of the distance from my house. Well, not even a quarter of the distance it would normally get from my house, but it takes me almost twice as long because of the condition of the road. You can't drive fast. Plus, it's a 25-mile-per-hour limit, but I was going mostly between 15 and 25 due to the potholes and just being careful. All right, more climbing. We're climbing again. Good news. See you on the next clip. Had to get some photos. Oh wow, I just entered a little small scrub oak grove here. Wow. Beautiful. Yeah, these look like Quercus acutidens, I believe, here. That stick right there. That stick on that little flake of rock right there. I was thinking, my God, what kind of big lizard is that? We don't really have lizards that big over here. But it definitely shook me for a minute. All right. Now, let's see what's going on over here. We have two things here. I don't even know if this is actually a part of the trail. Let's see, I think I'm supposed to turn left. I'm gonna go this way. But it seems like we've reached a junction. And if I remember correctly, I was supposed to see a junction and turn left. I don't think this hike's supposed to gain much more than 800 feet. I don't think, to my knowledge. But as long as I'm going uphill, because Bronco Peak will be the apex along the road. All right. you'd have to have some really serious skill to be getting up this in a vehicle. I don't know how people do it. It's really not my bag. Like I said, I'd rather hike than drive it anyways. Oh, it's just a big rock, big granite outcropping. Man, I'm gonna have some really sick views to point out today. Just be prepared for the viewfinder up here. Man, I don't think these clouds will get much lower than they are, so just the highest peaks will probably be blotted out. Okay, I guess that wasn't a junction. It was just a switchback. I guess I haven't reached that junction yet. I don't even know if I'm on the peak until I'm basically there. The profile of Bronco Peak is look like a very gentle slope, so I might not even know that I'm there until I'm just about at a huge rock on the top. Oh, this is fantastically beautiful. Oh, man. I suspect that's where I'm going to be heading, up there, so I've got a little work to do. Oh my gosh, look at the views out here. You gotta be kidding me. Right now we're looking northwest. Now we're looking roughly west over here. I'm not gonna give away the surprises yet of the views until I get to the top, provided these clouds don't lower anymore, which is doubtful. These look like fair wear. These look like stratocumulus turning into cumulus clouds. So I don't think we're gonna have to worry. But yeah, sorry for the sun glare in advance, but the destination's up that way. That's where Bronco Peak is located. But I bet you the 360s in that area are gonna be ridiculous. The views from over here encompass about 250 degrees roughly, and the views here are just absolutely spectacular. Just absolutely beautiful views. Oh wow, this is crazy. Oh man. And of course the air got cleaned out by recent storms, so the air quality is pretty good. The air is refreshing, it's cool. It's probably in the upper 40s, low 50s right now. Probably not going to get much higher. Probably maybe, I'd say probably low 50s at the warmest part of the day. I'm expecting, as we're in a pretty cool weather pattern for the next few more days till Thanksgiving is supposed to warm up again, but hopefully the day before Thanksgiving it'll be a Wednesday. It'll be an opportunity for me to engage in another one of these activities. All right. Man, I can't get over this view. I said I don't want to start pointing out stuff yet, but I recognize a lot of peaks, most of which I haven't done yet. I would like to one day, but oh, this is spectacular. I can even see all the way up by Rancho Penasquitos. That means you got a good view. All right, enough yapping. Before I go, here we go. Hairy Yerba Santa. Our local variant here, Ariodictyon trichocalix variety lanatum, with its very white and fuzzy undersides. Compare that to what I saw on my last hikes in the San Gabriel and San Bernardino mountains. I'll leave the links to both of those up in the corner and in the description. I did Crafts Peak. Well, actually, when I went to the Lucerne Valley area on Highway 18, that's where I saw some of the Eriodictyon trichocalix variety trichocalix. And then I hiked Pinion Ridge in the Angeles National Forest, and they were there as well. Okay. So links are in the description. Previously, you would probably see them flash in the upper right-hand corner of the screen if you're interested in checking out them. Tierra del Sol, Marco S. and friends. Okay. All right. Let's see. So here we've reached. Looks like might have reached a junction here. This is, I think, I'm gonna start going downhill and away. Intuition's telling me, let's bear left and start going up this way. All right. I don't think this is going to be a really super long hike. I haven't been out hiking for a super long time either, but I've been wanting to do this peak for months. Ever since I found out about it after hiking Los Pinos Mountain. I already took my thumbnail for Bronco Peak back in February, almost 9 months ago. I took my thumbnail for Bronco Peak because I was hiking down and I kept looking towards it, thinking about, that looks interesting. It looks like it has a trail leading to it. So on the way down, I was pondering what it was, took a picture of it, went home, looked at Peak Bagger and the topo maps on the Peak Bagger, and saw it was a named peak, which is not a requirement for me to want to climb it. It's not a requirement, but I just saw it looked interesting. It's something I would want to climb and found it was called Bronco Peak. All right, so we have another fork here. I don't know if this is gonna rejoin. I'm just gonna keep following this uphill. That's kind of the plan right now, is to keep following this uphill. Interesting. Ah, boy. Shouldn't be any bushwhacking. Am I losing the trail? Or am I going to have to go that way? Let me see what's through here. Oh, looks like a dead end. Okay. Guess I'll go the other way. Okay. Then where was that pointing? Why was that pointing this way? It looks like a dead end. Okay. Hope I didn't lose the trail. I might have lost the trail. I shouldn't be bushwhacking. Let's see what's behind this. Let me see. See where this leads. I think I might have lost the trail. Maybe I was supposed to zag instead of zig. This is supposed to be trail to the top. Not supposed to be any bushwhacking or cross country. Yeah. Guess I was supposed to turn right. Whew. All right, well, interesting. Look at the exfoliating granite up here too. Just flakes off. So crazy. All right, well, guess I'm not supposed to go this way, I guess. So I guess I'm gonna have to turn back and take the other junction. But I remember seeing a junction on Google Earth that showed if you go right and you start going downhill, you're gonna go away from the peak. Maybe I haven't reached that junction yet. My intuition was telling me to go uphill. But this is not a trail anymore. This is all off-trail cross-country right here. And it's not supposed to be a cross-country hike. Alright, so... maybe I'm supposed to go up this way? Let's see. No, I think this is going to end up in the same section, I think. Let me see something here. There's another sign up here. Here's another sign for called the Jackass Road. Easy and the hard way. I'm gonna go up this way. Yeah, I saw another sign like that before. And one pointed one way, and it ended up as at a dead end. All right. Here's another sign here too. Yeah, you'd have to have a serious four-wheel drive for this. I mean, like off-road type stuff. All right, well, I'm gonna keep going up, and I'll see you momentarily. See if my decision is paying off. All right, so I'm on top of another granite slab. Quite a few of them in the area. But I see another one of those old rusty metallic signs up ahead. It's over that way. So apparently I'm doing okay. I think I'm in the right area. This is some wild country out here, I'll tell you. Oh, and that breeze is nice and invigoratingly cool. So I'm still working my way up this way. I knew I saw a sign around here somewhere. Haven't passed it yet. Where did I see it? I know I saw one. Let me see. Yeah, your vehicle, if you had a vehicle, your vehicle would be doing the scrambling for you if you could control it. Like I said, I'm not an off-road enthusiast. I'm an on-foot enthusiast. All right, we're gonna have to scramble up this, it looks like. Yeah, see, there's a sign right there. Seems a whole out of place over there. All right, so I'm gonna have to scramble up this right here, I think. Let's see. This is gonna be interesting. Yikes. This granite's a little too steep for me right here. Let me see. I don't know if I can get a good hold of it. I'm gonna have to shut down the camera for a minute on this one. I was gonna try to do a class 3 grab, try to anchor myself in the crack of the rock there, and I grabbed on to that part there. I just couldn't get myself up it. All right, let me see if I can get to that sign through here. I might have to bushwhack a little bit, maybe. If I can get to that sign, I'll be good. But it looks like I'm gonna have to bushwhack a little bit. Yeah. I see. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to try to find a way up that granite slab. It doesn't look too good for me. Oh boy. Yeah. Had to bushwhack a little bit there. Woo-wee. Well, I did find a workaround. All right. Oh, here we go. Whew. So I guess unless you have really good climbing ability, there might be a couple sections where you have to bushwhack. All right. I wonder if I'm supposed to go up that way. Let me see. If this thing starts going downhill and away from the peak, then I'll know. We'll see. But for now, I'm going this way. See how this works. It's not going downhill. Actually, slightly uphill to level. So I might be going the right way. All right. See you on the next clip. Here's a go this way sign. Wonder if that's for the off-roaders. Well, let's see. What happens up here? It looks like it's all closed off over there. So on the way back, I'll definitely have to pay attention. Make sure I catch those signs and make sure I go reverse. What we got going on over here? Let's see. All right. Looks like I'm gonna have a class 3 crack over here. All right. Let's see. What's the best way to work up this? All right. Let's see. Okay. Doesn't help that I have pretty short legs. Does not help too much. Alright. I guess maybe I'll sight it over here, maybe. Make sure. Okay. Oh boy. I'm so glad it's nice and cool out. I am sweating. Not gonna lie to you. I'm a bit on the sweaty bit right now. Okay. Let's see. We'll go this way and see. Pathway going over there, and we got this over here. Maybe not. Oy. Okay. Maybe not. Maybe I'll go this way. Well, as long as I keep Los Pinos in mind, Should be able to navigate my way back. I'm hoping this isn't going to go downhill. Can't tell. Definitely some route finding. Oh boy. Let's see. See where this leads. To be honest, this seems to be leading to a dead end over here. I don't see any trail or anything over here. This is not a very auspicious occasion here. I don't seem to be getting any closer to the peak either. I was getting closer for a while, and then all of a sudden, it seemed that I can't approach it. It's been about that far away for most of the time. All right, there's something here. Let's see. Seems to be leading downhill. If that's the case, then this is not the way I should be going. It's actually kind of leading me away from where I wanted to go. I'm going to think that this is going to turn out to be an attempt instead of a summit today. Oh boy. Yeah, something tells me I missed a left turn somewhere. Kind of disappointed because I was really hoping to get up there. Yeah, see, trying to get up there, but this doesn't seem to be leading me anywhere right now. So this just leads me to another dead end. I don't know. I'm beginning to think this is going to be an exercise in futility. Yeah, that's what I'm starting to think right now, actually. Seems to be leading me to dead ends. So I'm not supposed to be a bushwhack to get to the peak. Let's see. Get over here. There's another sign. Over here. Definitely a lot more rock scrambling than I thought. Not much of it's particularly difficult. I mean, the area that was difficult, there is a workaround. So you keep seeing the Jackass signs for, I guess it's called the Jackass Road or Jackass Trail. But now I'm going downhill, A, and B, I'm going away from the peak. This is not what I wanted to be doing. I wanted to be going towards the peak, not away from it. This is kind of not what I wanted to be doing. But if this ends up leading me away from it and continues to lead me away from it, that's going to definitely change the outcome of this day. I probably won't be making it up to Bronco Peak. I have a feeling I might not be making it up there today. Let's see. Alright. There's another junction here. Let's see. We'll see. So I'm turning left at the junction. Yeah, we'll see if this works. I'll keep you posted. It's pretty interesting. It's beautiful out here. It's just a little confusing. I thought I had this mapped out pretty well in my mind. You know, I'm not infallible. I make mistakes. We all make mistakes. Just learn from them and move on. If I make it to the peak, great. All the better. But I'm also not going to try to put myself in a dangerous situation either. All right. See where this goes. All right. So I made a left at the junction. And so far so good. Might be heading in the right direction. I'm hoping. Went uphill, now it's going downhill again. Once again, I start getting my confidence up, and then I see stuff like this, and then I think to myself, maybe not so good. Hey, once again, we're going downhill and we're going away from the peak. So this is starting to get very, very annoying, to be honest with you. You think you're doing well, now we're going up. What we got up here? There's a Forest Service sign right here. 3A. All right. And responsible. Bronco Peak connector. That's the Bronco Connector Road. Oh, here we go. Here's another sign here that's giving me a ton of hope. Bronco Peak. All right, so that's the thing. During some hikes are just a piece of cake. Go to your spot, turn around, or loop it, or whatever. There are some times where you kind of have to work at it and at least try. And that's what I've been doing today. Just been trying. And there are times where it might get annoying. It's just the way it is. So yeah, this one just required a little more persistence than I expected. Sometimes that's part of the challenge. I mean, yeah, there are times when, while you're hiking, there might get to be some frustrating moments. Like, am I even going the right way? What am I doing? All right. So at least we're on the road. I finally have confirmation that I've been going the right way, albeit with a few little turnarounds and short detours and some interesting rock scrambles. Haven't had anything more, well, except for that one class 3 attempt I did. I found a workaround to get around it. It's been low to moderate, occasionally some stiff class 2, but nothing extraordinarily difficult. If you got longer legs, you'll have an easier time with it. Tell you what, the interesting place. Not gonna lie. Ooh, some mud. Step over some mud, some silt. All right, well, just gonna keep routing around this, and should be there in a little bit. All right, keep you posted. So I'm working my way up. It's pretty steep in spots. Like I said, just take your time. This isn't your typical dirt road hike. I'll tell you that right now. Since it's a off-road trail that's rated most difficult, it also means you're going to have some rocky, very steep areas along this trail. So take your time, don't rush it. It's steep in spots. Some parts it's very muddy because it has rained lately. And be prepared for some rock scrambling. But also be on the lookout for some beautiful botanical finds too. This toyon right here, Heteromeles arbustifolia. Poems are starting to ripen. Should be turning to red pretty soon. And first tree I've seen since the base of the hike, another southern coast live oak, Quercus agrifolia variety Oxyodania. So we got a tree poking out over here. Now, like I said at the beginning of the video, towards the beginning, there is a class 5 rock. From what I understand, there's a class 5 rock. I don't do class 5, so I'll probably just tap the base of the boulder and call it a summit. I'm not a rock climber. I don't do much beyond easy class 3. I've had a bad experience on a class 3/class 4 ledge one time near Mount Wilson. Luckily, I'm still here to tell the tale, but it could have been the end of me. That was back in 2019. Enough about that. Just keep wiggling our way up. Hopefully at the summit soon. So I've just been steadily working my way up. I believe I'm gonna have to fork off over that way. This, I think, has got a dead end on me. I believe. Yeah. Okay, so I gotta go up the rocky part here. Yeah, definitely a little more challenging than I expected. It's a very good workout. Very good workout, actually. Haven't really had any more confusing junctions to navigate since last seeing the sign pointing to my destination, Bronco Peak. This is not an easy hike. I've had harder than this, believe me. This is definitely well into the moderate category. Definitely in the moderate category. And again, as I said before, this is not like your typical National Forest Service road hike. Wide dirt road with occasional rocks in it. This thing is on and off, very, very rocky. There are some sections that are smooth, and there are also some sections where there's a big rut in the middle. Sometimes I find walking as close to the middle of the rut, if you can fit your feet in there, affords at least a little more stability than working on the steep slopes above the rut. Looks like we have a workaround here. Either cut around this way, or I can just work directly up here. Maybe I'll take the workaround on the way back down, as scrambling downhill, it's not as fun as scrambling uphill. I'd rather, well, it's not really class 2 over here either, though. It's just very rocky, that's all. It does get really steep in some spots, but it's not a consistent, excruciating uphill grade either. It flattens out, goes downhill a little bit, but once you get on the Bronco Peak, past the Bronco Peak sign, it is a pretty decent uphill grade, as you can see here. For some reason, it almost always looks steeper on the way down. It always looks sketchier on the way down when you're going on a steep slope. Definitely gonna have to really mind my P's and Q's on the way back and really pay attention for those jackass signs. It is a little confusing getting up here if you don't know the area. That's why I say, if you are a little more tech centered than I am, maybe a GPS route, GPS or GPX, would be a good way to do this. But back in the days, you didn't have that. You had to do this on your own. It's always good to know how to do it on your own as well. It's always good to know how to navigate. I use Google Earth to help me plan the routes, but then when I'm there, I have to use intuition and common sense. Get there. All right, so not at the peak yet. Still have a little work to do, actually. Might be up there, but it looks like I'm gonna have to go around this way. Let's see. All right, well, see, I should be going the right way because I did see the sign and I was pointing to Bronco Peak, so we'll see. See how much longer it takes me to get up there. Hope I'm gonna get up there soon. I definitely want to have a decently early turnaround time in case it takes me extra time to navigate on the way back. It's only 20 after 11, so I've only been hiking for about an hour and 20 minutes. It feels longer than that for some reason. I don't know why. All right. We'll see what happens. Alright, it's time for a little botany. Haven't really done a lot of botanizing on this hike. Early on I did a fair amount. And now we're coming up on some interesting stuff here. Here we go. We got some white sage, Salvia apiana. And we got some brown spine prickly pear. Some Apuntia phaeacantha. Right up here. Yes, we do indeed. Very nice. And it looks like this road's going to continue going up that way. And we'll see how much longer it's going to take to get up to the summit. This is not a very direct route. Be prepared. You're going to be weaving around hillsides and cutting through some slopes. So it's not, yeah, it's a good adventure. It's very beautiful out here. There's nothing else I could say. That it's just beautiful and very, very well vegetated with some gorgeous chaparral. Well, I'm just going to take a couple pictures, but before I go, I also got chaparral yucca, Hespero yucca whippley. Now, if you're driving along the Corral Canyon road to get here, you'll actually see some Mojave yucca on the sides. I haven't seen any Mojave yucca on the trail, but I have seen it driving up from Buckman Springs. There we go, Apuntia phaeacantha. Photo time, baby! Alright, so I'm working up this little gully right here. This little tiny gully. Let's see, looks like it levels off after we get up there. So we'll see what that is. Oh, yeah. Very steep right here. Very muddy too. Boy. Ay. I think I'm near the summit. Finally, I think. Whew. Catch my breath for a minute. I'm gonna have to go up there somewhere. I think I'm almost at the top finally. Oh boy. That's a pretty steep little gully. Let's see. Got another erosion gully right here too. There's some more chamise. Adenosoma fasciculatum, fasciculatum. And chamise's cousin, redshanks, Adenosoma sparsifolia. As we get higher up on this hill here. Oh boy. Let's see. That might be the Class 5 rock there. I think. the witness post up here. So, all right. Well, there's the Class 5 rock, but I'm going to go to where the high point of the soil is. This is the Bronco Peak area. That's the Class 5 rock, and I think the highest point in the soil is going to be up here. So, just a quick little off-trail wade, get to the high point of the dirt, and this will be my summit. Of course, the top of the rock's a little higher, but the base of the rock is in soil that's lower. So, like I said, I don't do Class 5 rock. All right, this is it. Bronco Peak, 4,169 feet. The soil here is a little bit higher than the soil over there. So, yep, Bronco Peak, ladies and gentlemen, 4,169 feet. Yeah, pretty nice views up here. Oh, before I do any views, I'm going to take a summit selfie. Probably get something to drink if I'm thirsty. This definitely required more work than I expected, but it was worth it. To be up here, Bronco Peak. All right, time for a summit selfie. Like I said, I am not doing Class 5 rock climbing today. Sorry, not happening. I'm good on that. All right. Well, I suspected the views on top of the rock would be unobstructed. There's not much obstruction except for the rock and some of the higher chaparral bushes over there. So this seems like a pretty good place for my viewfinder. So let's start looking at some views. It's about 11:30 or so right now. I'm not going to stay long on the summit because I'm going to have to patiently make my way back and make sure I navigate myself back through the maze of craziness. But start by looking off to the north. Right center frame. Right there in the middle is Long Valley Peak. Another peak in the general vicinity that I have had the blessing to climb. Just about 4,900 feet in elevation. It's actually like a double peak, because off to its right there's actually a slightly lower summit, which the next time I'm in that area I would love to try to get to that one too if I could find the way there. I'm going to keep it zoomed a little bit. So now we're looking northwest. We'll still continue keep this as part of the northern view, but you can see the Cuyamaca Mountains pretty nicely from here. The cloud layer is a little bit above 6,000 feet. But if you look out there, I'm going to zoom in just a little bit more. You can see on the right, on the far right, you have let's see, we got Oxanita Peak. And we have Stonewall Peak. And then off further is North Peak. And then, of course, on the left there, just barely scraping the clouds. The cloud layer must be like 6,300 feet, where the cloud bases must be, is 6,512-foot Cuyamaca Peak. And that ridge in the foreground is Guatai Mountain. So now we're going to start looking northwest now. And I'm going to zoom back, because this is a lot more closely seen at hand. Right there, just right of center, is Los Pinos Mountain, an old Forest Service lookout tower, and a couple repeaters up there, and a couple of sparse sections of coulter pine. Now, that really craggy one right there, look at that. I think that's Peak 43 something. I was almost thinking it was Corte Madera, But I think Corte Madera is a little further behind. I don't think you can see Corte Madera from here. I was thinking that rocky one was Corte Madera, but I think that's a random unnamed peak, like 43 something. I think. I don't know the specific elevation of it. But as we're looking more to the northwest, actually I need to zoom back because these are far off views here. Kind of hard to see, but way off in the distance, I can see Iron Mountain and Powell, and I can even see Woodson Mountain. Kind of hard to see on camera. And then a little bit off over here, I can see Black Mountain and Rancho Penasquitos. Remember when I was mentioning I could see Rancho Penasquitos on my way up here? Well, that's the landmark I recognized was that very peak, Black Mountain. So we're gonna look a little more west now. We're looking at towards some of the mountains on the backside of Hamul. But I'm gonna zoom back out. I'm gonna zoom back a little bit out so we can see it a little better. So of course, going from right to left, we got Gaskill Peak on the right. Then that small pointy one in the middle is Lawson Peak, the one that's a lot rockier. And there's an unnamed peak that's about 3,480 feet in elevation. If I ever do Lawson Peak, or whenever I do Lawson Peak, I want to see if I can make a side trip up there. And of course, there's the pinnacle of the Hamul area, Lions Peak off in the center. So now we're going to swing it around more southwest. And we just got endless and endless bounties of mountains. But that big ridge in the background, in the far background, that's called the San Isidro Range, the San Isidro Mountains. And it's one of two mountain ranges called the San Isidros here. This San Isidro mountain range is the one near the border, whose crown is Otay Mountain at 3,566 feet. Now, a little more to the south, that pointy one there is Kuchama, aka Tecate Peak. And I think that small one there, that small pointy one in the foreground, I think might be Little Tecate Peak, but I'm not sure. And then you can see the mountains of Baja California off in the distance. Now we're going to swing it over towards the southeast, and we're looking over towards the southeastern corner of San Diego County and the southwestern corner of Imperial County, and further off is the beginning of the Colorado Desert. Out there. That's out towards the Imperial County area. Looking east, the actual highest point, which is the boulder, which I'm not climbing. So now we're going to swing it east-northeast, and we're getting into the foothills of the Laguna Mountains. And more northeast, the higher portions of the Laguna Mountains. I think one of those is Monument Peak. Yeah, I think Monument Peak might be that one. That might be that one out there, maybe. And then we turn back to Long Valley Peak, and that concludes our 360. Yeah, pretty good views up here. Pretty darn good views up here, I gotta tell you. Not surprised. Kind of expected it. Concludes my viewfinder. Now I'm gonna finish drinking my water, and I'm going to start heading down. I'm not gonna linger too long up here. Maybe long enough to get a couple summit shots. That's about it. I do have a couple of minor addenda before I take photos and leave. I can actually see the Corral Canyon OHV staging area just to our north, down in that relatively bare spot right there. So on the right side is, it's called the Four Corner Staging Area, the Corral Canyon OHV area, one of the other names for it. And then branching off that way is actually Los Pinos Road. That leads you gradually up to there. And that's the hike I did back in February when I actually got the thumbnail for this peak. So yeah, the thumbnail I'm going to use for this peak is a picture I took back in February. It's the same mountain, it's in the same spot, not like it's moved. So I'm just going to use it for a thumbnail. All right, let's get a few summit shots. Oh, and then there's the Corral Canyon road all the way down there too. You can see it worming its way around. Looks like there's another paved road down there. Wonder if I could access that. I might be able to get back to Corral Canyon that way. So I think there's supposed to be a way to go down this. It goes down to Bobcat Meadow. So I'm going to go ahead and navigate my way around. Let me get a few pictures up here before I forget again. All right, so this is the way I came up. I'm almost considering taking a little bit of a risk going down this way. I wonder if this would be a better way to get down. I'm kind of curious, because I know I can connect Bobcat Meadow Campground, or Bobcat Campground, whichever two it is called. I could connect it and still get towards the other campground where I'm parked. I'll have to hike along a paved road, but it could be a potentially viable way to do this. If I don't feel comfortable, I'll just have to hoof it back over. So let's see. This might end up being more of an adventure than I had planned. But if I had to hike the dirt road, and say if it came to the point where it took me a ridiculous amount of time, hiking that in the dark wouldn't be as bad as trying to make sure I don't stumble over a bunch of rocks and brush up against poison oak at the lower portions of this. So I'm going down the backside of Bronco Peak right now. Just going to kind of test this out, see if I feel comfortable committing myself to this. I'm not 100% committed yet, but this would offer some alternative scenery for the video and for myself, and offer a different way to descend. So this is just right now, it's in the testing phase. We'll see how this goes. If this leads me down to this leads me down towards Bobcat Meadow, or another connector to get me back to the other campground, then so be it. Kind of neat to get a different adventure today. So let's see how this goes. I'm going to work my way down this and see if this is indeed a wise decision I'm making. If not, I'll have to climb back up this and huff and puff my way. All right, fingers crossed. So far, this is a much gentler way. It's rocky, but it's a lot gentler so far. Not quite as steep. A little more open out here. It'd be nice if it stays like this. Like I said, I'm trying this out for the first time too. So I'm probably going to end up getting in some type of a loop configuration. Yeah, there's going to be some kind of looping in this hike. All because I didn't really want to go back down the other way. Now I think this way goes down to the Bobcat campground. Bobcat or Bobcat Meadow, I can't remember which one is called. I've passed through it in a vehicle before. When I hiked Los Pinos Mountain, I drove through and kind of eyeballed Corral Canyon, and then I drove through to the Bobcat campground area and kind of took a quick peek at that before turning around and going home in my car. So you can drive to those campgrounds. Oh, we got a big old puddle in the middle of the road here. Oh boy, this is going to be cute. Oh, this is going to be real cute. And hopefully I won't have to go back. I don't want to have to navigate around puddles of water all day. I have to bushwhack through Ceanothus leucodermis. The thorny one. One of the thorny Ceanothus. I don't feel like getting my feet all wet. Oh boy. Let me cut the camera for a minute. Yeah, my right foot did slip in a little bit, but I just barely got a tiny bit of my sock damp. Barely. Felt bad. I was kind of bushwhacking through that poor Ceanothus bush, but I don't want to completely submerge my feet. Those shrubs are tough, I'll tell you. So I wasn't worried about damaging it. I was thinking, whoo! Oh gosh! Holy moly! As I was trying to say, I was a little concerned that the branches would actually push me into the water. Like I said, chaparral branches are tough. Yep. Looking back up towards the peak area. Yeah, this is much gentler. For now. Like I said, it could get kind of dicey later. I don't know. But for now, I'm just enjoying the fact that this road is very gentle. Oh boy, got another one. Got another pond in the middle of the road. I was hoping that was going to be the only one. Here we go again. I don't have any hardcore shrubs in the way. Just some chamise. There. All right. Beautiful out here, though. Really beautiful backcountry. Yeah, we're getting more red shanks mixing in. So I'm kind of glad that I'm taking this side for now. I just got to remember, I'm almost at the point of committing myself, because if I go back, I'm going to have to bypass 2 big puddles and a steep climb back to the peak, so that's why I'm trying to gauge my motivation. All right, well, here's the third puddle. Third puddle in relatively short succession. Oh boy, I didn't expect to be hopping puddles today. All right, well, that will be definitely going in my obstacles section of hike logistics. That was the third one. All right. All right. Enough yapping and some more descent. Here's something I wasn't paying attention to earlier. That's Morena Butte right there. Lake Morena is just down this way. So that plateau, that's called Morena Butte. That is definitely on my list for one of these days. And the foreground there, just a little lower than where we are. We're almost at the level of it, actually. We've come down probably about a good 200 feet. So I suspect we're probably close to the same elevation as Morena Butte, which is just under 4,000 feet. Okay, now we're starting to get back. Now we're starting to get into this territory again, the real rocky stuff again. So we'll see that maybe this way will hold those type of challenges on the descent as well. I just caught sight of Lake Morena Reservoir, which is just over these shrubs and beneath those hills. That's an area I would like to check out one day too. Maybe one day I can stay at the campground, one day hike the butte, and then another day explore the explore the lake, and just enjoy that. Morena Butte looks like it'd be a pretty challenging climb. Definitely something worth looking into, maybe in the recent future. And we're finally, well, for the most part, we're letting go of the hot weather. We're in a cool spell now, which I'm enjoying very much. That's why I'm out here instead of higher up in the mountains. All right, we got a sign here. Okay, we got a fork. What's this one here? Does this say where it leads? This one doesn't say where it leads. I suspect this leads over towards Bobcat. I'm kind of curious as to where this is going to lead. So we got a couple forks here. We got one going left, going right, and going hard right. I'm going to take the left and see what happens. It looks like it's pointing me in the direction of going to maybe a little bit closer to where I'm parked. We'll see. Keep you posted on my way around this. Couple more botanical points of interest. Skunk brush, Rhus aromatica, right up here. There we go. And it's, of course, more Quercus acutidens. So we got skunk brush, Torrey's hybrid oak, more cupleaf ceanothus. Of course, we're getting a lot more red shanks on this trail, which is really making me happy. And I told you that I've seen some Mojave yuccas on the drive to my trailhead. Well, here's one smaller one here, growing below the cupleaf ceanothus. Okay, so we got a Mojave yucca, and I passed by a few decent-sized red shanks. Nothing enormous, but definitely happy to see it. It's one of the coolest shrubs, and of course, occasionally scattered in the area. Make sure I'm looking at the right species. Birchleaf mountain mahogany, Circocarpus betuloides, variety betuloides. Had to make sure it wasn't Minuta florus. And now, look at that birchleaf mountain mahogany. That one's got a little skyscraper to it. That's a nice older specimen there. I've seen them get much bigger than that, though. In canyon bottoms, you'll see them get large. Well, here's a pretty decent-sized hollyleaf redberry. Rhamnus ilicifolia. This is a pretty tall one. Very nice. And do my eyes deceive me? Well, first of all, look at this nice lifted Rhus ovata sugar bush. Of course, occasionally you'll catch sight of one of these hollyleaf cherries in the area. Sometimes you'll get lucky and see one of those too. Scrub oak, it's everywhere. Scrub oaks, scrub oak, manzanita, it's everywhere. And what do we have here? Oh yeah, here's another Arctostaphylos glandulosa subspecies Leucophila. Once again, another one here. Making sure it wasn't pink brack manzanita, but I think it's the other one, the first one. All right, we used a lot of batteries on this hike. Yeah, it's probably gonna be a long video. I'm just warning you, it's probably a long one. But let's just keep on moving our way down this and see what else I find. Just can't get over some of these old Ceanothus leucodermis specimens here. Some of these have been around for a while. Ceanothus is generally not known for being a super long-lived shrub. It's usually a recolonizer after fire. whether it sprouts from its burl, or a lot of times it also sprout from seeds. Some have burls from which they sprout, and some don't. Leucodermis, I believe, is a burl sprouter. It's in the I believe in the subgenus Ceanothus, so it should be a burl sprouter. The other one, the cup-leaf Ceanothus, I believe is in the subgenus Cerastes, which does not resprout from burls and must reproduce fully from seed. So the cup-leaf Ceanothus is in the subgenus Cerastes, like wart stem Ceanothus, Ceanothus verrucosus that you see near the coast, Ceanothus crassifolius, variety crassifolius, and variety planus. A lot of those are in the subgenus Cerastes, and they have to recruit from seedlings. They don't resprout. So subgenus Cerastes, generally no resprouting. Subgenus Ceanothus, resprouting. All right, keep on going. So far, it's not leading me too far astray that I could tell. So I'll take it, and I'm just going with it. This will probably add some more mileage to my hike, especially if I have to link up with the road and hike the road back. But the descent has been pretty mellow. So I'll take it for now. I don't know what other kind of work I'll have to do, but we'll see when that time comes. See you down the way for some more updates. Wow, look at the stems on this Rus ovata, the sugar bush. The other bark is so cool looking. It's flaky. It's got gray, brown, sometimes even reddish brown. It's really cool. It's just flaky and beautiful. And you can see the root burl down here. This plant sprouts from roots when it's disturbed by cutting or fire. Now, one thing that doesn't need fire to reproduce, scrub oaks. You'll see scrub oak seedlings everywhere sometimes in some areas, especially on these mesic north-facing slopes. Scrub oaks do not need fire to reproduce. You do not need fire scarification. Fire will kill back a scrub oak and it'll resprout from its roots. So it will resprout, but it does not need fire to germinate. It does not need fire. I've germinated a couple different types of scrub oaks, and I did not do any fire scarification or anything. I soaked the seeds, stratified them. When they started sprouting, I put them in the dirt and let them do their thing. So, just a couple notes there. Some more fire ecology here in the peninsular ranges of Southern California. All right. Okay. Next level of botany interest. Here's another type of oak. It's a type of scrub oak, but it's not a close relative of the other scrub oaks. This is Quercus wieslezeni, variety for Tess. This is the interior live oak. More specifically, the shrub interior live oak, which is typically anywhere from a small to a very large shrub, sometimes a small multi-trunked tree-sized plant. However, the main difference, as this is not closely related to this, the typical scrub oaks like Acutidens and Berbertifolia, these are white oaks. These are white oaks, and their acorns ripen in one growing season. However, interior live oak is a red oak, sometimes known as a black oak. Acorns ripen in 2 growing seasons. And that's the case for most of our red oaks, except for Coast live oak, which is another red oak. Coast live oak is a red oak, but its acorns ripen in 1 growing season. But yeah, so those are 2 not super closely related. Beyond being oaks in the genus Quercus, those 2 are not extremely closely related. In other words, they're in different lineages of the oaks. Just a little trivia as I'm descending this lovely trail. Next clip, we'll see what else pops up my way. I'm liking this trail even more than the ascent trail. There's a lot more Mojave yucca on this one. I just passed by a bunch more of them. There's a lot of Mojave yucca on this side. And a fair amount of red shanks too. Yeah. This part of the loop is my favorite. It's cruisy, and I can spend more time ogling the plants. Yeah, red shanks. Can't get enough of this plant. The only other species in the genus Adenostoma, we have both species here. Again, Adenostoma sparcifolium, red shanks. Common chamise, Adenostoma fasciculatum, variety fasciculatum. There. And like I said, lots of Mojave yucca now. Lots of it. Well, looks like my battery's going to go, so I'm going to have to go. Okay, so we're coming up to a junction now. We have a four-way intersection here. Let's see. That's called the Wrangler. Not sure where that's going to go, but I'm guessing I should turn left here. See, I don't know. Intuition's telling me to turn left here. Bobcat. Let's see. Yeah, I think that's where I'm going to cut around to the road on Bobcat. This is the first uphill I've had in about a half an hour or more. Let's see. Looks like it's leading me back uphill. I don't know. Let me see. Let's see. I'm not trying to go back up to the peak, to be honest with you. Let's see. I'll keep my eyes focused. Might have to turn around, go back to that junction and see what happens. Here's our other manzanita, by the way. Arctostaphylos pungens. Right over here, point leaf manzanita. Just figured I'd have to share that for a minute. Let's see. Seems like this road is just kind of another meandering path. This is a much easier road than the tough one going up. According to the little rating on the side, it says more difficult, but maybe that means it's going to get rocky down the way. But so far, this is just, starting to go back downhill again. So we'll see. Definitely in for an adventure. Looks like the adventure's not over yet, so we'll see what happens as I get ready to route around another puddle in the road. It's a good thing I'm doing this hike on a weekday. On the weekends, I bet this thing is run with OHVs. There's the peak back over there. So I've kind of come down. I went up somewhere, I think along that side, kind of a roundabout way, and then I've kind of come down and around. I feel like at some point, I'm going to intercept my ascent trail. Possibly intercept it at some point. That's what it feels like. That's going to be interesting. So we'll see how that works. And now, let's see. But I am going downhill. I've been going 99% of the time downhill. And it looks like we might be getting to some rough terrain over here. kind of nice to be off of it for a little while. Well, for hiking, this isn't that bad. Alright, well, so it seems like I'm gonna link up with the ascent trail that came up from Corral Canyon campground, but I'm not sure. This is the I followed the arrow that said Bobcat. I'm assuming that means Bobcat campground, unless it's Bobcat trail. I don't know. But if I come up with some familiar territory leading back down towards Corral Canyon campground, I'll probably just take it back and just finish out the loop that way. Nice chaparral yucca. Multi-rosette form too. Cespitose form. At least this area finally got some decent rain. It was weird that we had a fairly decent October rain. Much more decent than we normally get. But we also had some rain in September too. We had some measurable rain in September. Not, some areas got more, some areas got a little less, of course. Those tropical leftover storms are fickle like that. Look at that big berry manzanita. Gosh, that's a beauty. All right. Well, I'm just enjoying this kind of cruisy trail. I'm hoping I don't have to bail out. I'm hoping this is going to lead me towards at least towards one of the two campgrounds. But I'm just taking it as it comes. If I have to hoof it along the paved road for a while, which is a good probability, I'll just take it and just do it, you know. Otherwise, catch you on the next update. Look at this gorgeous little pass right here. Look at this. Cool. Nice crumbling boulder. We got some Hazardia squarosa, right? Yeah, Hazardia squarosa, variety grandelioides. Sawtooth golden bush. Of course, more Quercus acutidens. No surprise there. More big berry manzanita. And some sugar bush. Oh, I love how this manzanita just arches over the trail. That's cool. And that big rock. That was cool. All right. More short clips and updates on the way back. Oh, here's another monster big berry manzanita. There's a big trunk in there too. Oh, wow. It's a single trunk. It's kind of hard to see, but if you look for that honey reddish brown, that's another single trunk big berry manzanita. That's insane. And look at this one. Oh, wow. This is an absolute treat. Yeah, these manzanitas are more like small. These are more like trees. Look at this. Oh boy, this is a big one. Oh man, now we got some huge ones over here. And again, more Yucca scadigera, Mojave yucca. All right, what else is on the way? Just another quick update. I'm still on the side facing Los Pinos Mountain. I wonder if I'm going to hit a connector or something. I don't know. This is interesting. We're starting to get a little steeper, and we're still getting these huge big berry manzanitas. These are absolutely strikingly beautiful specimens over here. Can't get enough of this. Wonder if there's any. It'd be crazy if I even see anything bigger. I'm gonna probably go a little crazy. All right, we'll see. So I can look around the side of Bronco Peak, north facing slopes here. Sorry for the sun glare, but there's so much big berry manzanita. I've been passing through tons and tons of it on this hike. And now I'm in a small grove of shrub interior live oak again, Quercus wesleyani variety frutescens. I've occasionally seen these get to tree size in the San Jacinto Mountains in Riverside County. I've seen a couple pretty decent sized ones in the Santa Ana Mountains along the Orange and Riverside County borders. Another part of this Cleveland National Forest. So occasionally I do see them get pretty tall. There are a couple of decent sized ones on Woodson Mountain too, over between Powell and Ramona. Now we got more of the acutidens right here. This is the Quercus acutidens that we got growing here. Now I got another puddle to circumvent here. There. Okay, so just like the first trail, this is a very lazily winding around trail. Not really, I'm not really, I think I still got a little ways to go, but I want to say this trail here is just spectacular. And it actually feels like a single track. It feels more like a single track. I'm pretty sure this is a dirt biker's road, but it feels like a single track. Yeah, so here we go. Here's a multi-trunk big berry manzanita. Yeah, these do not form root burrows. Big berry manzanita does not form root burrows. Just like with the ceanothus. A lot of manzanitas do, and a lot of manzanitas don't. Big berry manzanita is one that does not form root burrows. So like with the ceanothus, it has to regenerate from seed whenever a fire or clear cut comes through. If it gets cut down, it has to regrow. Maybe it can resprout from some branches, maybe, but if it's completely top killed, it will not resprout from roots. The other one, the white leaf Eastwood manzanita, should be a burrow former. I think most forms of Arctostaphylos glandulosa are burrow formers, if not all, at least most of them. There's a campground over there. I'm thinking that might be either Bobcat or the one I came. I don't know. I took a very circuitous descent. Okay. Blue elder. Sambucus nigra, or Sambucus cerulean. Right here too. Started to sprout some leaves after the rain. Low elevations, they're drought deciduous. They shed their leaves during the summer drought and leaf out in the rainy season. Higher elevations in the mountains, they're winter deciduous. They sprout leaves in spring and drop them in fall. And here's another hollyleaf cherry. Not super common around here, but it does show up occasionally. So always happy to see that. You can hear some off-roaders off in the distance, so I will have to be careful. There's some stuff going on down at the bottom of the hill, not too far off. All right, down I go. See you down the way. Here's an interesting oak. Here's another Quercus acutidens. I was thinking this was going to be an Engelmann oak, but no. Another Quercus acutidens. Engelmann oak is a parent of the hybrid Quercus acutidens. And now, we've got a Southern Coast live oak here, a small Quercus agrifolia variety Oxydania, and another one just up ahead. And what do we have here on the side? Looks like we got a massive sugar bush over here. That's a huge Rusovata. Now I've seen them get bigger than this along Highway 79 near Aguanga. Some sugar bushes get absolutely enormous along the side of Highway 79. Aguanga is just north of the Riverside-San Diego County line, not too far from Palomar Mountain. But this is a huge Rusovata. Oh wow, this thing is absolutely breathtaking. This is crazy. This is huge. All right. And another massive manzanita. All right, I need a picture of this bad mamma jamma right here. Okay, we're in a canyon bottom now. Okay. Topography just changed up on me again. Wow. Chaparral just above, and a small copse of coast live oak woodland here in the base. Cool. Oh, cool. That was a cool little passageway. Sheesh. This has been a really good hike. What else am I going to find? We'll see. It looks like we're descending towards another oak woodland. It's been kind of wooded now for the last few minutes since I filmed the last clip. Got down in this canyon, and it has turned into a coast live oak woodland again. So, scenery's changed up to another beautiful, luscious green. Well, the chaparral's pretty green too, because it's looking pretty savory. But I think we're that far from the campground. I'm assuming it's Bobcat. Tombstone single track. Huh. Interesting. All right. I'll see where I am in a minute. All right, so I'm just about to enter campground. That was the Bobcat. I guess it was the Bobcat Trail. So I've stayed on that pretty much the whole time. So this is the Bronco. So this is where I went up earlier. So I've completed the loop. So I'm just about back at the car. I thought I was going to end up in at Bobcat Campground. I thought I was going to end up at Bobcat Campground, but instead it was just Bobcat Dirt Road. Now I'm back at the campground. I'm just about to finish this hike. Well, I guess I don't have to hike along the road at all. It's been a very interesting day. I made a very interesting loop out of this hike. Glad I came out here too. Let's see what time it is. Started hiking about 10 o'clock. I was up at the peak at about 11:20. It's just about to hit 1 o'clock. It's 12:54 p.m. So, about a 3-hour hike. Not sure where that goes. Not going that way. All right. Didn't see a single soul on the entire hike. No hikers. No off-roaders. We're back at Corral Canyon Campground. All right. That's a beautiful campground too. One of these days I'll have to stay here. Or maybe stay at Lake Morena. Cool. I'm gonna go ahead and use the restroom on the way out. We have a small section of restrooms here. My car's just parked just over there. Can't see it from here, but it's on the other side of those trees. So this is going to do it for this hike. Thanks for coming along. Sorry if this is another long video, but there's always a lot to see when I go hiking. There's a lot for me to point out. Enjoy these coast live oaks for our last image. And again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on my next hiking video.